You've been lied to your whole life. Borders? They aren't just lines on a map. But what if I told you that countries behave like living, breathing creatures, growing, competing, and even fighting to survive? And if that's true, does that mean war and expansion are just inevitable? Tonight, we dive into the mind of Friedrich Ratzel, the man who saw nations as organisms, forever hungry for more. Let's rethink everything we thought we knew about power, politics, and the world we live in. Friedrich Ratzel's organic theory of the state stands as one of the most influential early contributions to geopolitics, shaping the way scholars and policymakers have understood the relationship between geography and political power. Born in 1844 in Germany, Ratzel was a geographer, ethnographer, and political thinker who sought to explain the dynamics of states by drawing analogies to biological organisms. His work emerged in a period of rapid territorial expansion, nationalist sentiment, and scientific advancements, all of which influenced his theories on state development, survival, and competition. At the heart of Ratzel's organic theory is the idea that states behave like living organisms. Just as plants and animals grow, compete for resources, and adapt to their environments, so too do nations. A state, according to Ratzel, is not merely a legal or administrative entity. It is a living being that requires land, resources, and strategic expansion to sustain itself. He believed that a state, much like a biological organism, must either expand or face decline. Stagnation was not an option. This concept was deeply rooted in the 19th century scientific climate, which was dominated by ideas of evolution and adaptation, particularly those associated with Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species. Ratzel's most well-known application of this theory came through the idea of Lebensraum, or living space. While the term would later become infamous due to its association with Nazi expansionist ideology, Ratzel originally used it in a more neutral, descriptive sense. He argued that states naturally seek to expand their territories to secure the resources and space needed for their populations to thrive. The struggle for land, therefore, was not just a matter of politics, but a natural law, akin to survival of the fittest in the animal kingdom. While Ratzel never explicitly endorsed military aggression, his ideas were later interpreted by those who sought to justify imperialism and territorial conquest. The historical and political context in which Ratzel developed his theories played a crucial role in their formation. He lived during an era when European powers were carving up the world in a race for colonies. The late 19th century saw Germany, Britain, and France competing for dominance, and the unification of Germany in 1871 under Otto von Bismarck added further momentum to expansionist thinking. Ratzel, observing these geopolitical shifts, sought a framework to explain why states behaved as they did. His ideas resonated with many German nationalists, who saw in them a scientific justification for territorial expansion and empire building. Ratzel's influence did not stop with his own writings. His work laid the groundwork for later geopolitical thinkers, particularly the Swedish political scientist Rudolf Kjellén, who built upon the organic theory to develop the concept of geopolitics as a discipline. Kjellén expanded Ratzel's ideas by coining the term geopolitik and emphasizing the role of strategic planning in state expansion. Another key figure influenced by Ratzel was Karl Haushofer, a German general and geopolitician whose work significantly shaped Nazi ideology. Haushofer's interpretation of Lebensraum and the necessity of territorial expansion for Germany's survival was a direct extension of Ratzel's theories, though taken to extreme and dangerous conclusions. Despite its historical significance, Ratzel's organic theory has faced substantial criticism. One of the main concerns is its deterministic nature. By likening states to biological organisms, the theory implies that territorial expansion is an unavoidable and natural law, rather than a product of political decisions and human agency. This perspective has been challenged by scholars who argue that states do not necessarily need to grow in order to survive, and that political, economic, and diplomatic strategies can ensure stability without aggressive expansion. Additionally, the theory has been criticized for its role in justifying imperialism and militarism, as it provided a seemingly scientific rationale for conquest and colonization. Comparing Ratzel's ideas with other geopolitical theories further highlights both their contributions and limitations. While Ratzel focused on the organic nature of states, other geopolitical thinkers approached the subject from different angles. Halford Mackinder's Heartland theory, for example, emphasized the strategic importance of controlling Central Eurasia as the key to global dominance. Similarly, Nicholas Spykman's Rimland theory argued that power was best projected through control of coastal regions rather than continental expansion. Unlike Ratzel, whose theory suggested an almost inevitable need for growth, these later theorists placed greater emphasis on strategic positioning and resource management. In modern geopolitics, Ratzel's organic theory is often considered outdated, yet its core ideas continue to echo in discussions about territorial disputes and state behavior. The notion that states seek expansion for survival can be seen in contemporary conflicts over resources, border tensions, and geopolitical rivalries. For instance, China's Belt and Road Initiative, Russia's annexation of Crimea, and the strategic positioning of military bases around the world can all be analyzed through the lens of geopolitical expansionism, though modern interpretations incorporate economic and political factors beyond mere territorial growth. Since Ratzel's time, the study of geopolitics has evolved significantly. Today, geopolitics is a multidisciplinary field that considers a wide range of factors, including economic dependencies, technological advancements, environmental concerns, and soft power. While Ratzel's work remains an important historical foundation, contemporary geopolitical analysis moves beyond his biological determinism, incorporating a more nuanced understanding of international relations and state behavior. Friedrich Ratzel's organic theory of the state remains a cornerstone of early geopolitical thought. Though it has been both influential and controversial, it offers valuable insights into the ways states interact with their environments and each other. Its legacy, while tainted by later misinterpretations, continues to shape discussions on power, expansion, and survival in an ever-changing global landscape. I'll leave you to discuss in the comments. Do you think countries have to expand to stay powerful? Or can a nation thrive without playing the territorial game? You can support us by subscribing if you haven't already. Take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, and I'll catch you soon in another video.